Nimble with numbers here. Scott Simpson, I hope you are doing well on a Saturday night before Week 7 in the NFL. I am honored today to be joined by my friend, not just a combatant, but a friend, Mr. Mike Reedy from the Undroppables. Mike, thank you for joining me today. I got a little bit of your bona fides here up on the screen. Introduce yourself to the good folks. Let them know all about you.
Michael Reedy. You can find me on Twitter, what Scott has up there right now. I write for the Undroppables, 2 articles a week. You'll see me untangling the wire on Tuesdays. And then the thing I guess I'm kind of known for is Moneymakers and Heartbreakers, right? Every Thursday I come out with that. I started with a thread. The Undroppable guys asked me to turn that into an article so people can see why I pick people I pick. And, you know, I put that out there. Actually, I think that might be how I met you, was through one of my threads like that.
I think it was. And then sooner or later, I found myself being tagged in those threads, and I just couldn't stop responding. I was just like, I gotta keep responding. You hooked me.
That's the goal, man, right? That's the goal. I want you hooked.
No, I love it.
It was like perfect for me to come on a show named Money Shot, right? I just thought it was fitting.
Yeah,
the brand.
Some people have said to me, you know, where'd you get your title from, the DFS Money Shot? And you know, I don't know. It just came to me. I don't know. I one late night, you know, watching something on the internet. I don't know.
I made sure I'm wearing glasses, and I was tempted to wear a complete face shield to protect me from the money shot. That's all. You know.
Well, you know what?
I thought about that tonight.
That was a wise move. Thankfully, we're all kind of sequestered away from each other. The money shots are going to be contained. No, I love it, Mike. I'm excited. Let's review a little bit about the money shot. So if this is your first time and you're joining us, thank you very much. This is how it works. I challenge somebody in the fantasy football, the DFS world, each week to a head-to-head contest. I let them pick the stakes. Mike was so gracious. He let me pick the stakes. I went with $20 for our contest. It doesn't need to be a baller contest, $100 stakes, for people to care and to get into it and to really put their heart into a lineup and to have pride. I mean, I'd do it for free. Honestly, I love football so much. So we're going to play for $20 today. Let me real quickly recap what happened last week, because, you know, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. I ended up losing last week to, you know, a good man. We'll say definitely a good man, to Mr. Kevin Tompkins the second, apparently. 147 to 142.
He should have been wearing his Macho Man costume for that victory, by the way.
He should have.
I'm a little disappointed in him that he didn't post something with that.
You know, he didn't even do a victory lap or anything. You know, he's really gracious to me. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Tompkins. He could have smashed and crushed me. He did not. But you know what? It was a loss after a win the week before. I took Anthony Servino and Michael Hoff down a couple weeks ago in a triple up for myself. So, you know, I need to get back on the winning track. I didn't pick an easy opponent, though, in Mr. Mike. So let's talk about...
None of those 3 guys you named were easy opponents. All 3 of them. Very, very tough.
Oh, very tough. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
and I mean...
tough, man.
Anthony beat me the week before, and somehow I lucked out and beat Michael twice. I mean, I've got no idea, you know, how that's going at all. You know, but yeah.
Win's a win, baby. Win's a win.
I'll take everything I can get. So here's what we have in our format. I have my team hidden. Michael's team is hidden as well. We're going to go pick by pick and reveal, starting at quarterback. We'll give a little rationale for why we picked our player, where the upside is that we see in the matchup that they're facing. And then at the end, we'll kind of size up our teams and talk about who we think has the advantage before we get out of here. So let's start right away with our reveal for our quarterback. I'm just going to pull down for both of ours. Oh, I like this as a start. Both of us have Kyler Murray. The Arizona Cardinals are facing Seattle in the Sunday night game. It got flexed. DraftKings kept it in, so we're able to access it for this. Talk to me about Kyler Murray and why you have him as your quarterback.
He can beat you through the air. He can beat you on the ground. And who are they going up against? But the friendliest defense for quarterbacks there is in the NFL. Going up against Seattle. Nobody gives up points to quarterbacks like Seattle. I mean, the Cowboys try, but they just don't compete as well at giving up points to quarterbacks as Seattle does. So Kyler Murray was my pick. I'm a little disappointed you had the same pick, by the way. A little disappointed.
Yeah. I was hoping to gain some leverage on you at the QB position from the start, and I said I actually thought you might go Mahomes because it's a good play. Mahomes is a good play. Kyler, I feel like is a little bit better of a play. With the weather conditions and things going on in Denver, It might be a little dicey. But that was somewhere. I mean, priced down at 7,400 this week, and then Tyreek Hill at 6,400. It's hard to get away from that. So I like how we both did. We both were able to maturely go. That's a great play. Maybe not the best play in the head-to-head, though.
Maybe not. I like high floor plays, right? Like one of the threads I used to have, I keep thinking about bringing it back this year was, what's your sexy floor play of the week? I mentioned it the other day. Somebody said they read it wrong. And I said, no, you didn't read that wrong. I meant that exactly the way you took it.
I'm sexing up, guys. Come on.
Everybody likes a lot of floor play. And I like guys with high floors. Right, because the high floor, and then I try to mix in some guys with high ceilings to take me over the top.
Yeah,
that's what I try to do.
Well, I feel like Kyler Murray this week, whether you're playing cash, whether you're playing tournaments, I mean, I feel like he is one of those rare quarterbacks now. You can play him in everything, every build you have. You're not really losing any value. If anything, you're gaining on the field. His upside is there on his feet, I should say, and on the field where he runs for touchdowns every week. So.
And with the opponent this week, the ceiling's there too, right? Like he could really bring you over the top. Of course, when we're going head to head, he can't bring either one of us over the top. But maybe I'll plug this into a Millie Maker lineup as well.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I do take every single one of my contestants or combatants lineups, and I play it in a 25-cent tournament or in a $3 tournament or a $10 whatever it is, because. Yeah, my real goal in all of this secretly is to learn from everybody. And that's, I think, really what I want to do. I want to have you on. I want to talk to Bo. I want to talk to Mike. I want to listen to podcasts. I want to gain knowledge. I need to learn. That's my thought.
That is my whole purpose for doing this stuff as well, by the way. Make me better.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's a value-added part of the process. It's fun. You get to talk to guys and girls about football, something you love, and you get smarter, more educated in the process, learn tricks. So it's a win-win. For me, for sure. Well, let's see if we can differentiate our scores a little bit. At least I know I don't have to worry about my quarterback or your quarterback. It's just, okay, the quarterbacks are set. Let's hope a little differentiation. Let's go. First pick, Alvin Kamara for both of us. I assure you there will be some differentiation. So far, we're both money right now. We're both right there together.
With the guys out this week that play for New Orleans, Michael Thomas is out, Emmanuel Sanders is out. They're going to throw the ball probably to Kamara 20 times, or at least it feels that way. I would expect him to get between 25 and 30 touches total on the game. So it's tough to pass that ceiling up, right? I couldn't do it.
No, and I couldn't either. I mean, you're talking about with Michael Thomas out, the best play on the slate, dollar for dollar. He should be priced up near the $9,000, $10,000 range. That's not just for me either. I heard Graham Barfield, Scott Barrett, John Proctor talking about it on the Fantasy Points, Chasing Points podcast. They're all over this too. I mean, I think Kamara's just like the entrance ticket into the dance this week. And if he's not, guess what? We both suffer as fools in this, but it doesn't hurt our bottom line against each other. So we're both taking that chalk. And sometimes you got to eat chalk.
Sometimes you got to eat chalk again. You build that floor up to a point, and then you have a couple of home run hitters in there to take you over. Right? That's what can do it. And hopefully we both went for upside though with those top two guys. I mean, I think we did anyways, as well as high floors. So. We'll see what happens as we go here with the next pick.
Well, so far these teams look less like cash teams and look more like tournament teams but we'll see. I mean, it's a different week. It's a new horizon this week. Week 7's wide open. I've never seen it like this so far this year. So many great plays, so many big games. Vegas is having this whole week shoot. It's going to be wild. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's check out. Oh, let's go ahead.
No, I'm waiting.
Oh, I'll say let's check out our next running back. Okay, we got a difference. Ding, ding, ding. First difference of the day. I've noticed my board is going down. There we go. You're leading off. Your second RB is Todd Gurley up against the Detroit Lions. I think they're the 32nd ranked defense against the rush.
Yes, they are. That's why one of the reasons I went total matchup here. And in this case, I wasn't playing the floor. I was going for more of a ceiling play. They've actually done a pretty good job the past couple of weeks defensively against running backs, but that offense is very potent in Atlanta. They do spread the ball around, but on the running game, Gurley's the guy. So I'm looking for a touchdown or two this week from him to help bring me over the top and take your $20. That's what I'm looking for.
This is a floor play too, though, because Gurley's been getting catches out of the backfield. He's been getting those pass attempts or those targets. We want to see that, and we want to see him in space with the ball in his hands, making plays and near the goal line. I mean, in the green zone, you're not putting in Ito or there's no one else going in. You don't want anybody else with the ball in his hands down there. He's got a nose for the end zone. He already had 5 or 6 touchdowns already this year, so. He's finding the end zone, and he had 2 touchdowns a couple weeks ago. That could happen this week as well.
That's what I'm hoping for, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for there. I'm looking for 2.
Mr. Servino did that to me. That's what Anthony did. He played Todd Gurley and beat me. So shades of week 4 are coming back to haunt me. But you know what? That's okay. I'm on the other side with my 2 touchdown guy, Chris Carson, who I think has a great chance to kind of pop in this scenario too. We're both chasing those big games.
I was extremely tempted to put Carson in there, by the way. So I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't do it because it would start to get embarrassing if everyone was the same. Kind of like when I told you who your team was in that fantasy league you drafted. You were like, guess which team is mine? I'm like, this one.
This one.
And you were like, how did you know? I'm like, because I know you. That's how I know that that's your team. I know you that well that was your team.
You're going to know me well, too. When you see my picks coming up, you're going to go, yeah, obviously. Well, I think that's cool that you do know me, and I appreciate that. I think it's one of the good things that we have in our relationship, whether it's DFS or real life, is actually paying attention to what the other person says. It's remarkable. If words come out of someone's mouth and you listen to them, that really goes a long way in engendering you and having a good relationship with somebody. It's wild. So
well, Gurley's not typically one of my guys. The kind of my kind of play. Carson was somebody I was going to plug in there. I just like Gurley's upside this week against that defense that's not so good against the run. So that's why I took him. I thought the Cardinals are probably a little bit more difficult on the defensive side of the ball than the Lions are.
Yeah. I think one thing that you have there on that side, too, is that, yes, there's going to be weapons all around. But down near the goal line, you're going to get Gurley the ball maybe a little more than Carson. We watched Russell Wilson throw the ball several times a couple weeks ago when they were down by the goal line. They got in. They won. They did a good job. But they're not always looking to run, where I think Atlanta is looking to run now first. And that was the problem. If you watched them last year, they couldn't get the ball in the end zone. They just couldn't. They would get into I remember one game, and I had Calvin Ridley, and I was just so frustrated. They had 4 chances, and they went for it on 4th down. They didn't get it. They had a penalty call on it, and then they had 3 more chances. They had 7 cracks at goal to go in one game, and they got a field goal. I just ripped my hair out. I said, I'm done with the Falcons. But we're not done. We're not done with them. At the moment, we were done. But I love this play. I think it's a really good upside play. And now I'm giving.
I like yours too. I'm big on Carson, so I like yours as well.
It's like we're ogling each other's girlfriends here. I'm just like, oh, your girlfriend's so hot. And you're like, yeah, your girlfriend's pretty hot too. So, all right, let's see where our wide receivers stand. Oh, okay. Now we got some pretty girls in the dance. I did pay up a little bit more on my first wide receiver. I went with Tyreek Hill. He is priced down. I know he hasn't been the wide receiver 1 that we've kind of expected him to be, and that offense has kind of been a bigger force as itself, not as individual pieces, except for Kelsey, of course. But I like Tyreek Hill's price. I've never seen him at 6,400. I couldn't believe it. CeeDee Lamb was $100 more than him. I love CeeDee Lamb, but I said, holy moly, I felt guilty not picking Tyreek Hill. So
do people at DraftKings, you do know who's throwing the ball now in Dallas, right? It's not Dak. It's not Dak anymore, DraftKings. Drop that price.
They don't watch the late games. Like I'm convinced that after the 7 p.m. slate, they're like, wrap it up, boys. Wrap it up.
the 1 p.m. ticket, 4 p.m. tickets over. We don't care anymore. We don't care what's going on now.
It's crazy. I just don't understand. Tyreek Hill under CeeDee Lamb. Okay, go get some of that. Maybe it's a bust. Maybe it's low hanging fruit and it's a trap. That Twitter thing where they're always like, it's baked. The talk about the snowstorm that could happen, and I saw people talking about downgrading your Chiefs players this week. I don't know if there's one passing offense I'm not going to downgrade players in. It's probably that one,
right? So or the Seattle one. That's another great passing attack too. I think you have a nice pick there. I don't hate it at all.
Well, here's how it's going to go. If it's hard to tackle Tyreek Hill in regular weather, my guess is it's hard to tackle him when he's slippery. Maybe it's hard for the cheetah to get traction. I don't know. I always think the snow games are going to go under, but they don't.
Slippery when wet. Tyreek Hill is slippery when wet.
Welcome to the DFS Money Shot, Tyreek Hill. He fits right in to our model. So
yes, he does.
No, it's perfect. Well, on the other side, you have the new AJ Green, the new and improved version, the rookie, Mr. T. Higgins. He is crushing it. Talk about what he's done so far and why you have him as your wide receiver 1 in this matchup.
Great matchup this week for him, right? Against a defense that is bottom 10 defense against the pass. He's been seeing eight or more targets a game. So this is one of my upside picks that I was talking about. So this is a game where I was looking for, he was a guy I was looking at as someone that can potentially take me over the top against you. He could make me lose too, by the way, but I think he has such upside with the amount of targets he's been getting lately and the amount of yards. A nice touchdown in there, and he's going to help me take $20 from you.
Yeah, no, I like that play a lot. And what's interesting is that him and Boyd are priced right at the same level together. I think he's at 54, Boyd's at 54, and then Higgins at 53. So much value in those wide receivers this week. I don't know and then Burrow's 5,500. That's crazy to me too.
I was just going to say that was a potential triple stack I was looking at. When I was putting this lineup together this morning, I was like, ooh, I could triple stack them. I actually like doing that. I've used the Seattle triple stack a couple of times to win some money this season. I used a Cowboys triple stack to win some money this season that Dak was playing. That is a nice potential triple stack this week in tournament play.
And the cost is it's just you're getting such a great cost. Oh my gosh, I think it's around 1,600 or so, maybe a little bit over for your quarterback, your 2 wide receivers. That's great, or 16,000.
And you can still plug in Kamara, and you can still plug in somebody else that's top tier if you want chalk to keep your floor nice and high and have that triple that stack take you over the top. It's a nice stack.
I like
didn't do it, but it's a nice stack.
You got Higgins in there, and I like that a lot too. He is in a build that I did with the Ralph Macho Mike, my friend Mike, who's a big fan of yours, by the way. He says hello. He was very excited that you were on today. So we did put Higgins in there. We stacked him.
Hello, Macho.
The Macho. I think that's a good play, even though we didn't do it in this cash game. It is more of a GPP play, but I think there's a lot of value in that. So I like it. I like it a lot. What you're seeing, by the way, now, guys, I did shift my screen. This is my value tool that I've created for myself, really, over at Nimble W Numbers. It has all of the different data points from all the DraftKings points from every player this year and every week that have been scored, and so you can sort them and kind of see the patterns. I've got value here. Who's ranked first, how many they're scoring, their average, all those things are in this tool, free tool. I use it to win some money. It's available at nimblewnumbers.com. Go ahead and check that out if you want to mess around. It has all the data that you need that is right there. That it's in other places, but I think the visual for me really puts it over the top. I like to see everything and be able to play with the numbers myself and interact. So that's a tool for you. Let's jump down to our next wide receiver and see what we're working with. Ooh, Terry McLaurin and Cole Beasley. Two games that are both, well, Washington isn't necessarily huge favorites, but this game is supposed to shoot. And then the Jets, I think Buffalo could score 1,000 points on the Jets this week. So we have some potential boomers here in our mid-range wide receiver 2 section. Talk to me about Cole Beasley and what he's been able to do so far this year as a top 30 wide receiver.
John Brown's out again. Cole Beasley tends to be Allen's blanket, right? He throws him the ball. He trusts him. Diggs seems to be the receiver that's getting large chunk yardage and whatnot. But Cole Beasley's getting an awful lot of targets lately. They're playing a really crappy team. I look for them to do more possession in this game because I think they're going to be up. And possession means they're going to want to run the ball and they're going to pass to the guy who runs the slot routes. Cole Beasley's that guy. So the price was right for where I wanted him. He was actually the last guy I plugged into this lineup, was Cole. I did not play Terry McLaurin, and it was hard for me not to play him, by the way. Both Higgins and McLaurin I had as moneymakers in my article this week. I think those are guys you want in your DFS lineups, by the way, both of them. But I really went with Beasley as I looked at going against the chalk, really, is what I was doing here. Once I saw that John Brown was out, I thought he could give me an advantage over you that you probably won't have.
I like that. I think one thing we have to kind of wrap our heads around, and whether it's in a big game, a GPP tournament that's huge, or a head-to-head, just because the team isn't a flashy team with a sexy team like Cincinnati, they're not a team that you think, oh yeah, they're going to get a lot of points. Look at the data. Look at the data. The data says otherwise, and so I think we have to get away from this narrative, that it's just Cole Beasley. Well, he's a top 30 wide receiver. He's getting touchdowns. He's getting targets. He's not going to get the downfield 70-yard bomb. He's not going to get that one, but he'll get 7 10-yard completions and get you 14, 15 points. He gets a touchdown. You're triple maxing. So
he was my sneaky play.
Yeah, I like it. And on my side, Dallas can't cover me, so I had to go with Terry McLaurin because he's way faster than me. And I don't like what I've seen a little bit with Kyle Allen when it comes to the amount of yards he's getting. He's still getting his targets. He was getting 9.2 targets, 9.8 targets. Now it's not that big of a change. It is, though, that rapport that he was with Haskins for 3 years. He had a chance to really establish relationships. Cool. So, he's priced down a little bit. He's not as viable. But
they didn't have that rapport last season, Haskins and McLaurin. They were pretty bad last season. Yeah. This season they were looking good. I like him a lot this week. I'm surprised I didn't leave him in here as I was flipping through things because I like him so much this week. And one of the things we talked about a little bit about earlier, right, was why did you pick this guy? I picked him because he's going against Seattle. Yeah. Who's the second worst defense against the pass? It's the Cowboys, right? So he's a great pick to plug in there this week. Great pick. I like him a lot, Scott.
I appreciate that. I feel we're very, very even. Bo even said he doesn't know who to go for. We're just so neck and neck so far, which is good because last week he said Kevin was going to beat me by 60. So,
I probably won't do that.
No, and I think the thing about it, Bo was a little jealous because I've been beating him the last couple of weeks in our little mini head-to-heads. It's okay, Bo. It's okay.
Yes. Bo, is that why you need the tissues and lotion in your article, Bo?
Yeah, he's been crying. He's been crying each week as I've been
very emotional as he. Spending a lot of time in the bathroom, all emotional. Poor Barney.
Yeah, or in the snow. Bo's into hypnotism, guys. If you didn't know, check out Bo at nimblewnumbers.com and his work. He's my DFS staff writer, and he crushes it. I got to tell you, he's getting the 500, 600 page views a week, man. I can't even keep up with him. So you know what?
That's awesome. I love Bo.
I love Bo. Right? He is good people, and I'll beat him this week in our little mini head-to-head too. And by the way, I have a show with Bo later tonight called Fast Hard Finish at 11:30, and we'll talk all kinds of shit then to each other.
Excellent.
It's excellent. So please check it out. We do anything we want, and it's perfect. So all right, let's get back into what we're supposed to be doing though, and that is the money shot. So let's peel down to the last. Okay, I see what you're doing here. You got a stack attack. Christian Kirk is with Kyler Murray. Talk about that potential this week to pop.
Okay, so in Moneymakers and Heartbreakers 2 weeks in a row now, you've seen Christian Kirk. I victory lapped him last week before halftime because I was like, hey, look at what he's done. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, whatever the heck he had for his ton of yardage. I did a single stack with him here instead of Hopkins because I think if anybody's going to be keyed on defensively, it's going to be Hopkins, which means you're going to see Kirk go over the top again.
I like
that. And again, and hopefully again and again and again and again. He's going to produce this week again.
Yeah, and I'm going to change a graphic that's not mine, and so I want to let everyone know what's not mine. This is from Roto Baller. I'm going to call out Roto Baller. They're good people over there. If you take a look at the matchups against the secondary, Quentin Dunbar and Trey Flowers in the first roll are giving up 23.7 points to wide receivers. Shaquille Griffin, a little better. He only gives up 13 points. And then Amadei, he gives up 16.1, or Blair in there before he's injured. Now, 16.1. So if you add all of those up, you're at 62 points or something like that. 52 points. You're getting so many points as a whole for the Seattle, DBs are giving up points and touchdowns. And so I like this. I think there's a great opportunity for Christian Kirk to have a matchup that he can excel in. And you got Kyler Murray there, so that's double points. So far I got Kyler Murray naked, but you know what? It fits in the motif of the show. We're going to go with it.
It's just the way you like them.
It's exactly. It's a money shot is what it is.
It's a money shot.
It's a money shot. All right, so I like it. I went on the other side. Listen, I love Henry Ruggs, and so does the Ralph Macho Mike. By the way, he loves him more than I do, but I love him. And I think one thing I love about
me too.
Yeah, I love him. He is just, his hands are huge, his feet are fast. He turns on the gas and then he's gone. He is just a beast, man.
What did he have? 2 weeks for 2 catches for 112 yards a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah,
I mean, that guy can explode at any time.
Anytime.
Amazing kid. Just amazing guy.
And so, and this is what I did in this matchup. I gambled because I knew that this would be a strong week. And so I went with a bad matchup where, most people are going to fade Henry Ruggs this week because he's going up against one of the best defenses. But last night I was on my friend Chase Vernon's show, the FF Intervention DFS show, and he had some mind-blowing stats about Derek Carr. His passer rating under pressure is in the 120s. I mean, just things like that you would never think that his pressure rate this year has not been astronomical, but when they do pressure him, he gets the ball out quick. Gruden knows he's not great back there the longer he sits. He wants the ball 4-step, 5-step, 6-step, 7-step, get the ball out. That's what you need to do in that offense. And when you have Ruggs, it's a prayer. And so this is where if Ruggs comes through, I can get you. If he throws a 0 or a 2 or 3 up there, I'm going to fall. This is my sword right here, though. So what do you think about Ruggs?
I like him a lot. As I said, he's the kind of guy, 2 catches, he can get you 100 and something yards. It's amazing. I think he is somebody that I mentioned it prior to that game, actually, that he's somebody you probably want to get now before the Raiders, if you're playing season long, before the Raiders start really rolling. So, I think you're going to see after this week, the next couple of weeks, Ruggs is going to really start taking off. So this week he's a gamble.
Yeah.
for all the reasons you mentioned. I actually am higher on that Raiders passing attack than most people. I really like Derek Carr a lot for the rest of the season. I like that passing offense rest of season. So like Waller, Ruggs, Carr. I think those are guys that you're going to be looking to roster in DFS the rest of the way, on the right weeks, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're playing season long, I think those are guys you want. I mean, everybody already wants Waller anyways, but Ruggs and Carr, the rest of the season outlook for those guys is very, very, very good.
Yeah.
I have Ruggs rostered nowhere, by the way, in season long, and it kind of bums me out a little.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I have him in the Scott Fish Bowl, and then I have him in another one of my big money teams. But I'm 0-6 on one of my big money teams because I had Michael Thomas and Chris Godwin as my wide receivers.
You know what my top 2 picks were in the Scott Fish Bowl?
I don't know. I'd love to hear. Dak Prescott?
Michael Thomas and Chris Godwin.
Oh, no. The same guys I just. So it's not going swimmingly then, apparently, I'm guessing.
2 and 4, I think. Something like that.
That's bad.
I have Adam Rank in my division. Adam Rank is 0-6. So we're just slaughtering Adam Rank left and right.
That's embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as was it Dynasty Dad did to the Podfather the other day. That was one of the best things I've ever seen on the internet. And
when you say people suck in your division, you should expect that they're going to come out and call you out on it, right?
Yeah.
Podfather had some really interesting things to say during the draft. I know it's all in fun, and that he wasn't, he didn't mean any of it, but still, right? So they're going to come back at you, man, which is perfect.
It was great. I remember seeing the original post by the Podfather, and I follow him, follows me. Good, no complaints about. But I remember seeing it. I thought, this is funny, but you better be good, So the only video I did. Go ahead.
It's kind of his like. I don't want people get mad when you say it's a shtick. All I hear is that I don't know him at all. I mean, I follow him, and is that he's a wonderful guy in real life, right? Yes. So but he has, he plays this little game on Twitter with his attitude and his edge, and it works for him, right? It works for him. Plus, I think he's really good at what he does, really good at what he does.
Yes. I mean, and here's the thing with everybody who is up there. It's easy to take shots at anybody who makes a mistake or who go, I think it's great if you can take yourself not so seriously and you can let yourself be made fun of. And I take a little bit of the fun out of it myself, though, because I come hard at myself. And people are like, what's left to give him a hard time about? He's running around. He's a big fat guy. He's drinking beer. And, I can't make fun of him.
So some people still take pot shots at you, man. It doesn't matter if you give them great advice. If you give them great advice and it fails, they'll still take pot shots at you.
Oh man, no, I know
it's hard.
They do. Well, here's the thing about it all. I saw somebody told JJ Zacharyson today or yesterday that this is why nobody knows who you are, and this is why you're a nobody because whatever it was. And I fired back and I just said, London knows who he is. He definitely knows who JJ is, So if London knows who you are, you're a real person.
I'm surprised people are saying nobody knows who you are. Okay, right. I've known who he was for a very long time.
Right.
All right. That's interesting.
It is. I think the person had 27 followers. It was, on Twitter when you're not actually related to the people in the community, you don't actually know anybody. That's how you kind of know when you're talking to people if they're from around here in the fantasy community. If they're being a jerk and they're like, look at me, then you're like, no, man, you're not friends with us, are you? Because we like to look at each other and pump each other up. We don't like to, it's funny when we draw attention to ourselves. It's tongue in cheek. So,
yes, like your picture with the rose in your mouth, right?
Right. That accidental picture.
Yeah, accidental.
leaked on the internet. Well, here's my favorite part about that bit. I told Jason Sarney and my friend Mike I was going to do it like a month and a half in advance. I was like, listen, or maybe 2 months. I was like, I've got the best prank for my anniversary. And like, what is it? Like, I can't tell you. I was like, just wait. I got to tell you about it. You'll see it. And so I kept teasing them and they're like, what are you going to do? I'm like, no, you'll see. And then when I did that, they were like, oh my gosh, dude, what in the world? Is your wife going to kill you? And I was like, yep, she is. Because that really was my anniversary. I really showed her those pictures.
These are for you, babe.
Hey, check these out. Yeah.
All that stuff you don't see when the lights are out.
Right. This is all in the dark. Look what you're missing. So, well, my favorite is every once in a while I'll just talking about something random, and then somebody will be like, "You mean the guy who said this, or the guy who did this?" And they'll just throw that picture into a non sequitur, and then it leaves all the other people who don't know me to spread like, "This guy's a weirdo," which that's guilty. That's guilty. So, well, we're digressing, which I knew we would because
I knew we would too, but that's what makes it fun, man. Right?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, you got to digress. I mean, if you don't digress, are you actually enjoying the process? So. Yeah, all right. Let's jump down to tight ends because I'm sure that we have a little bit of a different play for tight ends because we did break away. After the first two picks, we don't have another one the same. So let's take a look and see where we're working with for the tight end position.
Yeah, we weren't very chalky with the wide receivers. That's for sure.
Nope.
Neither one of us.
No, we broke away. I think that's what you need to see is that, even in a head-to-head, we have a little chalk. But then we went for plays that we thought were leverage against each other, or against the field and how we're the field, but kind of how the games stack up, the prices, all that kind of good stuff. Let's talk about your guy. You got Mr. Schultz in a game against the Washington football team who just loves to give up points to the tight end. What do you see this week for him?
I'm giving him 10 targets this week. If he doesn't have double-digit targets, they need to question every single thing they're doing in Dallas right now. When Dalton took over, I was the game where Dak got hurt, and Dak, we hope you heal up because we don't like what we're seeing from Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton will get better, by the way, as things progress. But I was afraid because I think he threw one target at Schultz that game. Last week he was utilizing Schultz a little bit more. This week, I mean, to be honest, it should be Schultz and probably CeeDee Lamb in the passing game. I like if you're playing Gallup, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry if you're playing Michael Gallup. If you're playing Amari Cooper, hey, there's my Boston accent, Cooper. If you're playing Amari Cooper, I'm really sorry too. I don't expect much from him this week. But Schultz, I'm expecting great matchup. If 10 targets, that's I was trying to go against the grain here with someone like him as well, and hoping that you didn't have him, so that I especially after we saw the first two picks, I was like, oh my god. So that's where my mindset is. He's definitely not a floor play, right?
No. Right.
He's a if I have success, yes, I should beat you. If I don't, well, I gambled, right? I tried.
Right. Well, I like what your rationale is, what you're thinking. When this first happened to Dak as well, may he heal immediately. And he's such a great person too, by the way. And
I like Dak a lot.
I do too. And his support for mental health and his care for humans and the whole of humanity. Thank you very much. Heal him immediately. But one thing that I thought about with Andy Dalton is that Andy Dalton isn't the red rifle anymore. He's not getting those edge passes to to Michael Gallup. That's where Gallup lives, out there on the edge, out there down the. That's not who Andy Dalton is. He's a middle of the field guy. That is CeeDee Lamb and Schultz territory. That's right in that level for him. So I think that's a really good pick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. He's more like the Red Ryder BB gun now instead of the Red Rifle.
Yeah. You gotta pump it a little bit.
You gotta pump that thing up, baby.
Right, you do. Right. It's not great. I went with Tunyon as they're calling him now, like a Funyun. I heard,
He that's right. He's come out and said the whole world's pronounced his name wrong. It's Tunyon.
Tunyon. And you know what? That's fine. I thank you. I think as an educator myself, I always ask my kids to tell me their names, how they want to be communicated, because it matters, and it really matters how you're spoken of. You can call me from now on Lord Simpson. I'm kidding. No, don't call me that. You can just call me Scott. No, it does matter though, and so Tunyon is hopefully full of a start. I mean, he's got a questionable tag right now. This is the rules for how this works. If one of your players or one of my players goes out before the game and we're able to swap them out, we're able to. That works fine. Any swap is good to be able to fix that. The only thing is we're not like changing 9 players on our team. You know what I mean? Like because Tunyon's out, I'm not going to change my wide receiver, my running back, 3 of my D. That's not that's not an open invitation to kind of gut my lineup, just so you know what I'll do. But that's somebody I'm monitoring. If he doesn't play, I'll plug somebody else in there just in case. And if any of your guys get COVID or anything, very flexible here on the Money Shot.
You were hoping for another 3-touchdown game. That's what you're hoping for out of Tunyon.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I read an article by Denny Carter, CD Carter, and he was touting the Tunyon, and I have the Tunyon on one of my teams. I like him, and it was between him and I was going back and forth with Jared Cook. I know that with Emmanuel Sanders being out, that the options are going to be limited. I think we both though have focused on Alvin Kamara a lot, and so I just didn't want to split that. I didn't want to. My shares are in Kamara, and if Kamara does hit, and then Cook doesn't, it kind of left me kind of open. So I wanted a different flow completely.
I actually had Cook in at tight end. I had him as a heartbreaker in my article, which was written before I knew Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders weren't playing. He should produce just because those guys aren't there. I would think that Trey Smith's going to produce as well. Somebody has to catch the ball, right?
Right.
But I like Schultz's matchup, and I like that his quarterback can't throw bombs down the field, right, as you mentioned. So I liked that scenario just a little bit better.
Yeah. And we both left Cook off. We both didn't. He scuttled Cook. And that makes me happy because if he goes off, it doesn't matter for us at all. Here's the thing I'm scared about, though. Looking at your lineup, you definitely have some cha-ching left. There's going to be a big play here for the flex, and there always is. Last week, Kevin got me with the Derrick Henry flex, which that fudged me up at the end. By the way, I'll tell you how I was winning until the end against Kevin. And AJ Brown caught that great touchdown, and 4 seconds left. I had Tannehill and I had Brown. I went up by 2 points. They went to overtime, and they put Derrick Henry on the goal line as the quarterback. I turned to London and I said, I'm going to lose my matchup with Kevin. And she goes, how do you know? I go, look at the quarterback.
I know.
He's a lineman. Look at him. And then he ran right through. I mean, oh my gosh. I was just like, I watched it as they broke the huddle. I went, oh my God, I lost Kevin. So I'm going to see who's going to kill me. I'm sure it's going to be another running back. Let's just fucking see. Oh yeah. It's Ronald Jones. I should know.
With Fournette playing, that's kind of a gamble on my part. I mean, we don't know what they're doing, but I went Ronald Jones in an extremely wonderful matchup, and the fact that he's been totally dominant in all these good matchups he's had. So I found that hard to pass up. Just really hard to pass up.
So hard, and it doesn't hurt that our guy Tom Brady is dusty. I think he's a little dusty,
I'm a Boston guy. I'm a New England fan. Tom's 43 years old. He's been kind of up and down this season. I actually have him rostered on a season-long team. I have Brady. I'm a late-round QB guy, so I typically plug quarterbacks in last. Right, if I'm playing season long and even in daily lineups, because I think it's easy to find quarterbacks that will give you points. Yeah, he's pretty dusty. But with the way Rojo's been playing, right, that ground support, I mean, that makes it easier for Tom as well. So it's
And I see a player who wasn't very good when he first came into the league, who sucked, quite frankly.
I thought so too. I have not. I don't have him on any season-long teams anywhere at all.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither. That's a miss. That's a miss for me. But here's we kind of all thought, not all, but the consensus was that Tom Brady would be leading the attack more so. And that makes sense. Bruce Arians likes to throw the ball downfield. It all kind of made sense, except that it doesn't make sense because Tom Brady used to work from short to long, and now they're making Tom Brady work from long to short, which is not how he needs time for the long to develop. And so that's not it's a little tricky for him right now.
So as Stoner would say, that's Fantasy Stoner, another Undroppables guy, would say Brady is a system QB. And everybody loses their cool when he says this. And I usually come in and defend him. Being a Brady fan and a Patriots fan, I have to say things like every quarterback's a system QB. And people are like, what? Like, if you put the quarterback who's awesome in a system that doesn't work with what he's good at, he's going to struggle. And he's not going to do well. So Brady actually can still throw the long ball, surprisingly. He's pretty old. He's like the me of the NFL, right? You know, white hair. He dyes his.
How old are you, by the way? What's the secret age of Mike?
I'm 52.
You look great.
I'm like, why? Thank you. I got some guns here too, by the way.
I want to be like you when I'm 52. If I had Mike Reedy, I'd be okay.
Somebody called me the silver fox of fantasy after you said I was going to be on here today, and I was like, I think I kind of like that.
I like it, dude. Dude, I like it a lot. Here's the thing. Let's just be honest. I do have a big gnarly beard right now, but underneath it, I'm a very attractive person. I got good hair. You got good hair. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, game represents and respects game. So, yeah. In Espanol, the Saguaro Plateado, I believe it's called, the silver fox.
Fox.
I like that. That's good. By the way, I had to do the Pope lifting you up because
that was absolutely beautiful. That was so beautiful.
It's like I have to do something special.
God, that's so funny.
For Mike. I love him so much. I gotta pump him up, and somebody they said, "This is fucking hilarious, man."
Yes, Troy King.
Yeah, so
a whole bunch of people.
Fun.
Yeah, it's very funny. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, totally fun times. I knew it would be. I told my wife when I woke up today, which was at 7:00, because my kids came in yelling and screaming about iPads, like excited, I told my wife, as soon as I got up, I said, man, I have my podcast with Mike tonight. I can't wait. And she's like, that's like 24 hours away or something. I was like, I'm excited.
I was extremely excited to be on too, right? It's funny. I told one of my friends I'm going to be on the Money Shot podcast. Oh, that sounds about right for you, Mike. That sounds about right for you. So Bo tells us right here that Rojo gives me the win. It's his play of the week. So my Money Shot, Scott, is going to be a goddamn map of Hawaii all over you.
Oh, I feel it.
Boom.
Oh no. Let's see. Well, you haven't seen my defense yet, you son of a bitch. Let's see. Okay. Well, his defense is pretty good. Mine is not as good. I think this might just cement it. I went with the Washington football team just because, I'm playing McLaurin. I know that there's a RB defensive stack. I'm doing a wide receiver defensive stack. I'm hoping that the backup to the backup to the backup tackle that starts. The third string tackle is starting, folks, this week.
So you ran out of money, right? You just ran out of
totally.
money. That's what
yeah. I have no money. That's the story, guys. I paid up for some guys that were really good, and now my team is not going to win, probably.
I play in a DFS league. the guy who taught me how to play fantasy actually had invited me to it. So I play in this DFS league, and there's so many times where I'm like, oh God, I don't have any money left for my last player. What am I going to do? Oh, well, I'll just play that guy.
2,800 wins. Oh.
I'm like, I honestly think I'm going to get enough points out of these other guys, and I'm just going to play that guy.
You know what I'm going to do? This is what I feel like. This is in my mind. Here's what I feel like. I feel like, when they do the Price is Right, and then they bid, I feel like there's like a nice thing where you're just picking players, and you're like, 1,800, Bob. 2,700, Bob. Sold. And you just put it in, ding, 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 and then you win. But you don't win. You just get up to the showcase, and they're like, your lineup sucks. You're like,
well, Bo says, if I'm reading him right there, right? Washington football team is number 2 defense. At first, I looked at that as Bo said, what the fuck? I thought it was WTF, but it's not. It's WFT.
It's very confusing. Well, but here's the problem. He said it's the number 2 behind Tampa, which you have in your showcase. So, I mean, I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't paid Bo this week, so both get it in.
This is almost like I did what I threatened to do and just have Bo make my lineup for me to go against you.
Son of a bitch! I knew it. Collusion.
I didn't even have to collude.
Right, no. Well, this is the thing. You guys are just smart, and I like it. And this is where we can all learn from each other. I'm going to take pieces of this. That Rojo play, I do like it, and I like T. Higgins already.
Thank you.
T. Higgins already, but, there's little things that we can glean from each other, which I like. And Bo's calling me easy money again. So I'm going to give you the head. In this matchup, I do like your squad. I'm going to give you the little indicator here with the highlight that I think your squad has what it takes. I'm giving you a 7% or not 7%, a -7. So I'm +7, I think, in this. That's the range. Okay. It's really close. It's not a 10.
Still close.
It's still close.
Yeah.
But I do think I'm getting pushed here with the Ronald Jones and the Bucks. D. I think that does kind of give you a bit of okay. So -11 for Bo. All right. These lines do need to become correct, Bo, because the gambling off the real gambling, the head-to-head side projects, they're going to come. And under 311, what does that mean? What is he? I don't know what that even means, Bo.
Yeah,
I'm going to give.
I don't know. All I can say is, Bo, notice my lineup. I have the sexy floor plays. Lots of it.
Lots of floor plays, Bo. I gotta say, Michael, this has been great. Your team looks fantastic. I hope I suck out a victory against you. At the end of the year, we're running it back. Sorry, guys. At the end of the year, we're running it back with a big gangbang of money shots. Everybody's back invited for a tournament of champions at the end.
I can't wait for that. I will bring the map of Hawaii for that one.
I feel like it might be like Indonesia, Indochina by then. You'll be so excited with the wins you have stored up ready to take me down. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming on. This has been great. If you don't follow Michael, where can people follow you at on Twitter?
Michael Reedy FF at Michael Reedy FF, or is it Mike Reedy? I might be Mike Reedy. I'm sorry.
Mike Reedy FF
at Mike Reedy FF on Twitter. At the undroppables.com. That's where you're going to see what I write. Every week there's a waiver wire column for me and Moneymakers and Heartbreakers, where you'll see I was on brand with my team, by the way. If you read my article, you would have known half of the guys I picked anyways, that I plugged in there. So, that's where you can find me. I'm still working on potentially coming out with a podcast myself. Haven't done that yet. I'm trying to follow in your footsteps, Scott. Trying to follow you, man.
You know what? There's so many amazing people that we can all follow, and I feel like we're standing on the top of a mountain, and we're just grabbing each other and being like, "Jump up! Come on! Okay, now you go! Come on, bring us up!" And so I would love to help in any way I could, and I will definitely be pumping your stuff out more and more because I love it personally. And here's what I forget to do. I retweet a lot of stuff. You know, it goes through my timeline. I forget to actually
I know.
seek out people I like, though. Oftentimes, it just Twitter comes to you when you're available, when it's time. So I got to put on my list because I might go a day or two and not see you. And I'm just like, shit. What's going on with Mike? What's going on with the Undroppables? I love the folks at the Undroppables too. Shout out all you guys there. You know, there's a huge crew. Stoner, you know, you've got so many people who are over there.
Paulie, Term.
Oh, I love Paulie. Paulie's one of the first friends I had on Twitter here. You know, him and Jax were two of my guys from the beginning. And, you know, the Mayonnaise Man had nothing on either one of those guys. And, I love those guys. They helped bring me into this community of fantasy football.
The Mayonnaise Man. I remember that incident. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I taunted him because after Chris Godwin caught his second touchdown or third touchdown in a game in week 4 or 5 last week, I just said, hey, man, what flavor of mayonnaise can I buy you next year or at the end of the season? And he got really upset. He goes, it's only the first half. And I said, right. And he's got 29 fantasy football points in the first half. So, you know, he's going to get a shit ton more in the second half. He did. And then he blocked me. And then Jackson and Paulie came to my defense months later, and they saw the thread. They attacked him. And then he attacked the Ball Blast girls. I mean,
yeah, that guy. I don't know if he's around anymore. That guy. I think
he is. He came back secretly as someone else. Not secretly, but let Jax and those guys tell you. Forget Mayonnaise Man. He's out. We don't mess with Mayonnaise Man anymore. Mayonnaise Man sucks. But you can check out Mike at the Undroppables. Please read his stuff. I got to tell you, I have been informed by his stuff. He does research. He gets the research from the people. He talks to people. All summer long, he was doing his poll. Who would you pick in this round? Who is top in this round? Who do you want back and forth? I voted in every single one of those polls, and I love it because it really helped me think about it. It presented the question.
I was surprised with how popular that became. So I tried to run that stuff up against ADP and my own personal thoughts on where people should be ranked. And, you know, it was actually really informative because sometimes people were like, I don't want any of these 4 guys. Reedy, what are you, smoking crack? Why would you vote these 4 guys and you left off these other people? And I was like, oh, well, I kind of based my thing off of ADP. Yeah, but you're making sense. I'll switch stuff up around the next time. I actually learned a lot from that. That was a good experience for me.
Well, I love it. I think you should do it again. And I think that it's real-time information that like I look at them. I would go back and look at the polls after I voted in them. Later, I would go back in the morning before I voted on the next poll. I go, well, what about yesterday's poll? Oh, that's stupid. Why would you pick him? You know what I mean? So I would get into that. I might lob a bomb on there and just be like, that's some dumb shit. 68, 69 Chiefs fan or whatever, you know.
Yeah, well, the dumbest thing I ever did was last year when I would run the polls for Pick My Flex on one of my teams. And inevitably, when I would be like, wow, that's what people voted for? Oh, crap. And then I'd play the guy and I'd lose. And I was like, yeah, you guys are going to make it so I can't do this anymore. It's like my league mates were the only ones voting, you know, like, oh, God, they're picking the worst person.
Well, I sometimes like to throw trades out there that I get personally. And then I want to just kind of like – someone said they would trade me Le'Veon Bell for CeeDee Lamb, and I was like, no, that's terrible. But let me see what Twitter thinks too. Let me just think, because I think it's ridiculous. Le'Veon Bell is going to be a timeshare. CeeDee Lamb's going to be the focal point of that offense moving forward.
At best, he's a timeshare. He might be just third down back.
And there's Kelsey, and there's Tyreek Hill, and there's whatever. He's going to be fine, but he's not going to be the, you know. So I ended up offering instead Tim Patrick for Le'Veon Bell, and I think that trade's going to go through because that's more of a realistic expectation than compared to CeeDee Lamb. He's a top 15 wide receiver this year, even with the situation. He is their future. Yeah, you got to understand how the Cowboys work. If you don't understand how the Cowboys work, they're about glitz and glam and right now and woo, woo, woo. And that's what CeeDee Lamb is.
Glitz and glam and CeeDee Lamb.
CDs, TDs, baby. Woo, woo. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. Well, Mike, we're going to talk off air because we just love shooting the shit. And you guys wish you could be a part of that, but you can't because we're going to end it here. Great talking with you, man.
Thank you so much for having me on, Scott.
Anytime, my man. I mean, literally anytime. We'll see you guys next week on the DFS Money Shot. I've got a little Space Force Ghost coast to coast who's going to come and try to steal my money away. So, yeah, can't wait to see you guys.
I can't wait to see that.
It's going to be awesome. Thanks, Mike. Can't wait to see you guys out there on the field beating me and taking my money, Mr. Mike.